Have you ever noticed that you are capable of naming every red flag in your life? And you notice them and you name them and you complain about them almost immediately. But if somebody was to ask you about green flags, would you have to sit and think about it? Because that's what happened to me, and I will talk about it. So I just finished this. It was called an experiment, but we changed it to experience. So we call it the green flag experience. And so for 22 days, I had to intentionally look for evidence that I was growing instead of looking at where I still needed to grow or things I still needed to fix. And somewhere in those 22 days, I started to realize, girl, I'm excellent. I'm excellent in collecting these red flags. But apparently I have been walking right on past all the green flags in my life. And so this whole experience, and I want to say thank you to Damari for inviting me to it, because at first it sounded real simple, right? Just pay attention to what's working, notice where you're growing, notice evidence that something in your life is shifting. But what really surprised me was how intentional I had to be about it. And so I just know that my mind, it naturally just goes, what I got left to do, what's not done, why aren't I further along, and what else needs to be improved, what am I still trying to build here, what do I need to build next? And because baby, I'm a builder, and when especially I'm full flesh into my business, and so that's where I'm always thinking another thing that I could be looking at. And so with this experience though, I was able to just stop and just look, and I'm looking at my business is actually steadily growing. Women are coming back. I opened up a Saturday, and so immediately that started to fill up. So I just remember thinking, wait a minute, those are green flags. Those are little pieces of evidence saying that, you know what, something is working, and it's working in my favor. Something is growing, something is taking root. And I noticed how I would move past those things quickly and start thinking about the next goal. And so now, after these 22 wonderful days of picking out my green flags, that's what I've been doing. And it stopped being about having cute little green flags for me, and started to just wonder how many green flags had been coming and God could place them. Hello. All right, I'm back. Somebody walked into the studio and I got to him in the horn. So anyways, I was talking about these green flags, and so how it stopped being about collecting these small little green flags, and it ended up me wondering, so how many green flags has God already placed in my life that I just keep walking right on past because I'm waiting on something big? I need that big bang, right? That big breakthrough. And everything is not finished. Maybe everything is not where I want it to be yet, but that does not mean that there's nothing happening. And I think some of us have trained ourselves to only recognize progress when it looks very dramatic, like a new job or a big check, a sold out room, or some kind of major announcement. But sometimes progress just looks like you handled something differently today, or you said no without explaining yourself for the next 20 minutes, sending a text of why. You rested before your body was like, yo, sit down. Like, you didn't spiral out this time. You came back and you tried again. Those count too, right? In this time of the year is when everybody is starting to get back on track. You have your kids who are going back to school. You got these calendars that's filling right on back up. And so fall routines are coming. And before you know it, you're looking around, ask, okay, what should I be doing? What should my morning routine look like? What should my rest practice look like? And just all these different questions. What is everybody else doing? That's a big one. We're always looking at what everybody else is doing, but maybe that's not the first question you should be asking. The question you should be asking is, what is actually supporting me right now in this season? And not what looks good on what other people are doing. On Instagram will do that, or TikTok, or not what worked for you 3 years ago either. Not what sounds impressive. Those things, just actually what helps your body, what helps your mind, what helps your spirit right now. So what we're starting to do is learning the rhythm of your own body that your body can trust, and paying attention to your own green flags when it comes to your rest, and what actually is helping your shoulders to drop, right? What actually helps you to breathe and to slow down, and just what helps you feel less rushed, right? What helps you hear God. So that's information. Those are green flags. So that's what I am seeing. That is what I am seeing weekly at the studio. Women are walking in, they're carrying the week, but sometimes you can literally like eat what they're carrying, and then somewhere during the session, them shoulders start to drop, the jaw starts to let go a little bit, the breathing changes, the snores come through, the body is settled, right? I'm just here to say that sometimes green flags is simply my body, it finally felt like safe enough to stop holding on to everything. And that is worth noticing. And if one of your green flags needs to be really creating some space for yourself, then come join us for a sacred rest and sound session. And just know you don't have to know how to rest. You don't have to come in all nice and calm. You don't have to have your life all together before you come into the room. You just come. So I just invite you to look around. God may have already left you some green flags, and just be still and know that God's got the rest. All right, go get them green flags. Bye.